Want to keep up with the latest Camodo gaming videos? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell. Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Tiny Town VR, and yes folks, we are back once again, and today we are back with a brand new build. So, from the last video, I saw a comment on it, and somebody suggested, why don't you do like some sort of, it'll probably be post-disaster city, almost like a sunken city? So I think we're going to do that here today. So it was like an island that probably would have been over in this area here, which there's a super volcano, there's the war island, the original island, and then you have the new island we've been working on, which by the way, if you missed the last episode, we did a really cool battleship scene. I'll flash it in the top right corner. But anyways, like I was saying, we're going to put water out here. The land's going to fall off. It's not going to be attached to this island here. So we're actually going to start it about right probably here, and we'll have to find a way to connect it. Say there was a bridge that probably doesn't exist anymore, or we can do fragments and like pieces of it that went to probably this island. Yeah, this island over here. I was thinking about putting it over to that island, but I decided not to do it over there. It's too big of a bridge. But yeah, we'll have it out here, and I think it's going to look cool, because I have some ideas for this. So, let me grab a little water piece here, and I'm going to lead one line of water out to the area where I think the island's going to be. That way I keep it level with the rest of the island and land pieces, because there's probably going to be an empty gap for a video or two until we really figure out what we want to do. So, we're going to put this out here. Now, this is probably all going to be water, to be honest with you. It's a sunken city. The only thing I picture poking up are maybe bridge pieces, overpasses, buildings, but we might still have people trying to live there. So it's like all the disasters moved away from this city, and it's just the survivors that are still there, which I think this is going to actually look really, really cool. We'll get to use some of the apocalypse buildings, maybe some buildings that we haven't used before. And yeah, this is going to be a good build, folks. So this is the start of something. If you guys have any suggestions for future builds, comment below. And if you're enjoying Tiny Town on the channel, maybe hit that thumbs up button. It helps out my channel. And let's jump into building. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing here, I'm grabbing all the skyscrapers. We might have some smaller buildings here. There won't be just water out here. We'll have sections of land that will poke up out of the water. But it didn't like sink all the way. It like settled. Almost, I don't want to call it a sinkhole. We'll just say the whole land just kind of fell off and just settled down a little bit. Say it would have been about this high where my hand is. So let's continue to use these buildings. Now, I thought of something really cool. Like there's tons of different things we can do with this build that's going to make it pretty unique. Like say this building here that has the big hole in it. We could totally make a survivor camp inside of it. And what if we were to make like a wooden bridge or something that stretched over to this building and they're using the rooftop of it too? Like there are a lot of things we can do here, and I'm getting excited. Like I wasn't going to film another Tiny Town, and then I saw that comment and I was like, okay, one more episode of Tiny Town this weekend because we need to go do this because I have the ideas fresh in my head here. So let's keep doing this. Now I need to find some elevated pieces. We probably just have... Do we have any other bridges? I don't think we have destroyed bridges, which that might be a little bit of an issue. I don't know, we'll have to see. I want to put some land poking up here somewheres. Now, you're probably going to ask yourself, well, how do the people live? Well, I can put gardens and stuff on top of the roofs. We can have boats for travel, and there could be battles going on, maybe between factions, bandits, stuff like that. So, let's keep doing this. I want to stick some of the actual bigger buildings in here. Some of the stuff that we haven't used in the main city. You got like the, I don't know, did we use a Space Needle over here? I don't think we did, actually. The Eiffel Tower, I don't think we can use that one. What about the Sky Tower? There's certain things we've used. I know we used the Empire State Building. I don't think we've used a lot of this other stuff. Now, this probably would have been pretty far out of the water here. So we'll stick that like that. That's starting to look pretty cool. We got to have some backdrop here. So I think I'm going to have some hilly sections behind it. It isn't going to be like a major city like our original one, but it'll be pretty built up here. Alright, so we have been hard at work. I'm trying to formulate how this city used to look. So I'm picturing once you were driving over the bridge, which by the way, the bridge, it bugs me. This piece wants to act like a road, so it has to stay stable. So I can't like tilt it to sink it. So I had to basically just submerge it like that, which I need to move this This ramp does not quite line up the way I want it to. And I just grabbed the tile instead. Oh! Just move the whole thing there. Come back to me. There we go. Yeah, I need to move this road over just slightly. About right there is where it should be. So we'll do that. Make sure it's snapping. Okay, it is off. Let's go ahead and put these cars over here. So yeah, you can still see a couple cars, but they're all rusted out. So yeah, that sunk in there. We had some, you know how in, I guess you could say like New York, some of the residential areas have the buildings that are really close, or even San Francisco. You would see that kind of towards where, I would say this was like a big part of the ocean, almost like another bay. So those were oceanfront houses, and you move into the city here, which you can see it's absolutely devastated. And I actually really like this because I was able to use some of the zombie buildings again, but I'm able to place them, what you can see underwater. Somebody suggested I build underwater the other day, and I was like, how does that work? This is underwater, and it's pretty much just emptiness down here. So you can't do that, but nonetheless, oh, I gotta move this building. That is not making sense. Let's move this one over here. So you can see a train used to run through here, which I'm actually gonna get a train, and I'll put the pieces of it half submerged in the water. You can see where there was power poles, the buildings all through here. One of the buildings actually finally crashed onto the other one. Some of the buildings that have been completely just, I guess, it actually looked like like a tornado or something came through these. Maybe these were under construction. That's why they're completely hollowed out. I do have like a little helicopter crashed up here. I got the tower up there. We have an old hospital over here, some shops that have kind of floated away. There's a floating mountain back here. This is not a feature, by the way. Let's go and put that back there. I even stuck some of the rubble pieces, like this, barely poking up out of the ground. So say there was buildings or something here that are actually destroyed, which look at this. Could you imagine once I fill this area up with water, like being over here in this area, seeing the super volcano, the storms, the clone army going over there, and all the stuff going on that side of the map? I'm excited. This is awesome. So, we're going to do this. I got a couple more big things I want to add, but I want to get into the nitty-gritty here. Like, how would somebody survive in an area like this? And I keep focusing on this area right here. I feel like I want to build something, so I'm going to try to come up in my head with maybe a camp situation here, and maybe people are living up in these two buildings right in front of us here. Alright, so I've added even more to this. Now, I have actually a pretty cool scene. So, we have a survivor camp here, and you can see the little guy, he's on a raft down here. This is how they go about. We'll probably add a boat down here too, but the raft might be a little bit better for the tight streets. You can see I also added the plane crash, which I was able to sink it down so you can't see the ground, so it literally looks like there's a plane almost kind of floating, which I think is a pretty nice touch. But yeah, they built a watchtower down here. You've got the one guy, they're talking to each other, maybe gonna load up some supplies. They'll go up into this building, which you can see they've tried to fortify the hole here with wood. And we'll go up into here, and you can actually see their everyday lives. We got like a fridge in here, probably the only thing that's powered in here. I need to find a generator I could stick over in the corner or something. You got mats in here, people asleep, people just sitting up here. You got clothes hangers up here at the top. They have an extremely janky bridge that goes over to the other side. You can see there's like a ladder on the bottom propping it up, and you've got the wood planks going across. So this guy's walking across to the side over here, which is the rooftop side, which this is where they're growing some plants, collecting water. It's like a grill on this side, workshop. Yes, that is their toilet, and that is probably where they poop. You know, think about it. You could just poop in the toilet, it'd come out the pipe, and it'd land right in the water down here. It's like instant sewage. Not bad. Or you could just aim off the building, but I don't know, it's probably pretty dangerous. But yeah, this guy's tending to the garden. You got planters over here. They got wood gathered up that they're going to probably build more structures. Probably would want some cover around this, say from snipers. They probably have the highest vantage point besides the hospital and maybe the tower up here. But yeah, that looks cool. I really like that. So yeah, I've added some other things in the streets, some cars that maybe are sitting on top of some things, power poles. I really am digging the look of this. Okay, so let me go ahead, keep moving here. If you guys have any ideas for this, always give me feedback down in the comment section, because there's plenty of ideas that we can do here in this one section. Also, we need a name for this town. What was this town formerly known as? Alright, so I bet you there's two real hot, actually there's probably several hot commodities here. Food, fuel, and boats. Can I think of anything else? Maybe there's something else. But yeah, You can have boats. Maybe they could do raids on the tiny... Well, actually, I don't know where to go. Everything's in disaster. I don't know if anybody wants to go over to that island. But maybe they could get in boats and head across. Now, I had a kind of a neat idea. You know, they would probably... And can we do it on the one building? We might have to do it on maybe another survivor area. What would be our next one? I think the hospital. We might make this some sort of hostile area. So maybe this will be the bandits' headquarters. So let's move over here. Maybe there's just a boat dock or something right here. So this would have been built after the flood. So they'd go in. They'd build a dock here. And I'd probably put some ladders and stuff up. That way they'll have a place for their boats. So let's go ahead. Let's grab a fresh boat here. Something like that would probably work. Something like an old kind of smaller fishing boat. Actually, this might be too big. Alright, that's too big. Alright, let's try to find something smaller. Rowboats for sure would work. Which we'll probably have maybe one on this side. And then we need to have something that actually has a motor in it. What is not big here? Put a yacht out here. This one might be... Okay, that's probably a little more reasonable here. So I would say this could be the trader. This could be something that people, they go to get some supplies. Maybe this is a smuggler that goes into Tiny Town in order to gather supplies and try to distribute it through to the people. My question is, what is the currency here? I'm pretty sure money is useless at the moment in this world, but I think what we're going to do here, we're going to add, let's go ahead and go to military. They've got some really nice crates and stuff that we can add. And we'll probably add like a tent or something on top of this. Let me turn snapping back on. There we go. And this will be kind of like a shop over here for all sorts of goods. Probably add like a newer looking watchtower here. They're high class over here. They actually, they're able to come in here and actually build some new things, unlike everybody else in this area. Alright, so we made a little shop here. So you can see the Smugglers Boat has come in. They're still offloading right now, and you can see there's guards down here. You gotta guard this when you're offloading. No telling who wants to come in here and try to steal your stuff. So they got military stuff, they have fuel, probably food, and they're all setting up shop up here. You got another little guard on this side. And yeah, I guess you could always come over to the dock, visit, try to buy something. Or maybe get shot. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure you want to go over there. Another thing I've been meaning to do, and I mentioned this earlier, we want to do the train, which I think this is going to look pretty cool here. Let's see. Where is the train that we're going to use? I like these cargo trains. So I was going to stick this kind of in the middle here, so you can see it was going on the bridge, and it's actually derailed here. Now, we're going to put a bunch of empty carts on here, because I'm pretty sure they would have gone in here and actually tried to salvage what they can out of them. So let's get another flat cart here, and the rest of them are probably below water. That looks pretty cool. I'm actually really liking that. All right, so check that out. That looks pretty cool. All right, let's go and back off over here. Another idea I had was to have one of these tankers. Say this thing went under. Maybe it got stuck during this whole shenanigans and it's going to be tipped over. This could be a base for somebody too. Somebody could live up maybe in the superstructure. Let's tilt that down. There we go. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit closer over here. There we go. Now, I know last episode we talked about doing a Granny Island. If we do that, it's going to be on the other side there. This is a completely separate thing. We'll work on that bandit camp probably next episode. Man, this is really, really, really awesome. Like, as soon as I saw that comment, I was thinking, how have we not done this? How is this not a thing? Alright, let's go ahead and put some more boats. We can probably fit that boat in here. So they say this is the bandits boat. I really wish we had some Mad Max or Apocalypse style boats. I don't think we have any of that. I'm gonna keep adding some debris here. We'll add some cars on top of this rubble. Trying to really populate the whole area, which is probably doesn't have a big population, but still, it looks pretty good though. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start to fill in some more water here because I would like to see what this looks like somewhat connected here. So let's go ahead and start spreading the water. So this would have been actual ocean here, so you won't see any buildings. I'm trying to separate all this, that way it looks good. So let's keep going, boom, 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 boom. How far do we have to get over? Oh, geez. We still have to finish the shoreline over here. I think the shoreline's going to poke out or go inward there, and then over here we'll have like a little slope off behind the zoo, and the ocean will just be behind it. Okay, let's give the little apocalypse zone a little more area here. You know, somebody could live on one of these little islands. Or at least, I don't think they're islands. Whatever's poking up out land-wise over here. Somebody definitely can make a home up there. Maybe we'll create a home. There we go. And keep going that way. Alright, so pretty much got that squared off there. Let's go ahead and zoom back in. Okay, so we could always add a ton more things here. Do we have a shack of some sorts? You can't tell me that somebody in this apocalypse area doesn't have like a shack. Ooh! That's actually fairly big. I did not picture that being that big. Hold on, if I were to stick the log cabin, let's turn off snapping here, into the side, could I make that work? I bet you I could make that work. Make it look like they actually built into the side of the mountain here. That might be a thing. I think we're going to keep that. And let's put them, I'm going to actually build them a little deck here. So let's go to, actually the piece should be over here somewheres. Check it out, they've got a little scaffolding here. We can go back over to the maritime and we can get ourselves a dock. So they have their own little personal dock over here. That's not bad looking actually. It's on the back side. We'll probably have to add some more buildings onto this side then, because I know it's a little awkward the way it's aiming. Okay. Now question is, another thing I thought, and we have to add her because she's like the most famous character ever, but with all the clone stuff coming, maybe this is where some of the clone defects come. Maybe this is a sanctuary for grannies too. That'd be kind of weird. So I was talking about the grandmas coming over here. Here's one right now. You know, she probably actually crashed that helicopter. I think we've established that grandmas don't have to eat to survive. They're clones. They don't function that way. But she does like to have a burger every once in a while, just for the taste. So yeah, she's just sitting up here having a nice time. She's got her little radio beside her. She's got a cooler on the other side. She has no worries right now. This is perfectly fine. This whole little situation with the whole water apocalypse world here, nah, this is way better than being over there right now, because they're in battle right now. She doesn't want to deal with any of that. Oh boy. But anyways, I think we're going to wrap it up for this episode. We did a lot here. We have a big section done. But I want to see some of the feedback before I continue here. That way we see what else you guys want to see in this little area. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support on the Tiny Town series. You guys are absolutely amazing. And we will see you guys next time in Tiny Town VR. Thank you.